Tonight on CTV News, first they needed more tourists, but now are there too many? Akaroa locals voice their concerns, and Christchurch prepares for one of the country's largest water slides.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, I'm Emma Cropper. Wrongfully convicted Dunedin man David Bain, who now lives in Christchurch, has been given fresh hope in his bid for compensation. Judicial review proceedings have been discontinued following an agreement with the two parties. The review has been finalised. Cabinet can now resume its consideration of Bain's compensation claim for wrongful conviction. And for the 13 years he spent behind bars, he was wrongfully convicted for the murder of his family in 1995. Along with more cruise ships docking in Akaroa, more tourists are now visiting the town. But is this a problem? The issue has been the subject of a research paper at Lincoln University, and the findings are in. Here's more on the story. Crowded footpaths and busy cafes from thousands of tourists visiting Akaroa each week. The boutique township has become the main port of call for cruise ships since the earthquake left Littleton's port out of action.
They went through something like 20,000 visitors one year to 144,000 the next. So we're talking about like massive increase in visitation numbers. And they were just kind of concerned, how do we cope with this? Dr. Michael Schoen from Lincoln University has found that locals are embracing the added hive of activity. His research into their attitudes towards cruise ships found just over half of Akaroa and Banks Peninsula residents believe the cruise ships greatly benefit the area. Of the rest, half had a neutral attitude, a quarter were negative, and 23% have a positive attitude towards the ships. But there were still concerns over the double and triple stacking of the vessels in the port, which creates a massive human bubble in the township. They were concerned about things like crowding, pressure on their amenities and infrastructure. How's the wastewater system going to cope? How's the water system going to cope? How do shops cope? And then also how do the local community cope with going through their town and doing the everyday business, while at the same time trying to sort of fight through these large flows of visitors coming through the town. The cruise ships look set to continue in Akaroa until Littleton rebuilds its port. Dr. Schoen says this is causing the most concern, with uncertainty about how to plan for the future and invest in tourism infrastructure and facilities. At this stage it's up in the air as to whether or not the cruise ships will continue to arrive. And if there's uncertainty, then how do you as a business, or how do you as a town plan to either grow or contract or change your business if there's no certainties? If the cruise ships continue to be a permanent fixture, the locals are hoping the township will see some of its revenue. Whether it is spent on the wharf, whether it is spent on repairing some of their, the Gaiety Hall or the information centre or those sorts of buildings. Emma Cropper, CTV News. New Zealand is ranked one of the best when it comes to healthcare. Delegates from Carter are in Christchurch today, researching ideas and discussing the future of their own medical system. Jared McCulloch explains.
They've travelled halfway around the world to learn about one of the best health systems, coming to Christchurch to hear more.
The main reason we're here is because New Zealand have been identified as a good best practice site internationally for how care is well integrated across the whole system. So hospitals, community, GPs talking together very well. So the delegation here from Carter is really just here to learn how to do that better, make sure everything's well connected for patients.
Nicola is working within a team of Carter delegates to get some tips on how to improve their country's health organisation. Back in 2006, the country changed its National Healthcare Authority, establishing the Supreme Council of Health. And now they're seeing firsthand what other developed nations like New Zealand, Canada and the UK do, and what they can take back to the Middle East.
They all have those themes in common, that they've got well-developed healthcare, not just in hospitals, but within primary care settings and GP centres, so they have a broader range of health provision.
Carter has been developing new health strategies over the past few years, and it's taken time to develop it here too.
I think it's our size and our cooperation. So what you'll find in Canterbury is unique for the rest of the country too, actually. So it's stands out not just nationally, but also not internationally, but nationally as well. So it's a cooperation, years of clinicians working across the system, realising that actually better care can get delivered to patients by working more closely together, realising that hospitals are really important places, but that most healthcare is delivered in the community.
And Vince believes there's a good reason for that.
The elements of what we deliver here is used in the rest of the country, and in fact, to be fair, lots of what we've got here we've begged, borrowed and stealed from the rest of the country, so we don't think for a minute that this is all about Canterbury being particularly special and having invented it here. We've adapted things from internationally and also from locally and from our national colleagues.
However, Nicholas says it takes time to get it right.
New Zealanders can feel quite lucky, I think. I'm British, and I know many people in Britain would complain about their healthcare system, as people here in New Zealand, I'm sure, will complain about their healthcare system. It's a difficult business to get right. But from what we see back in Qatar in the Middle East, where really there is very little provision, even in a country that's very rich and very ambitious, it has a long way to go to get all these services in place. So it's a good reminder, I think, to be very grateful for good healthcare.
And it isn't the first country to visit this health centre.
But this is not unusual for us in Canterbury now. Last year we had visitors from Norway, Switzerland, the UK, Australia, America, Singapore. So lots of people are coming here and we're sharing lots of ideas. And we do go and present around the country, so around the world. So we were in Brussels last year and over in the Netherlands. And again, as I say, this is always a two-way street. We can give a lot of information, but we're really important for us to understand what's going on in their health jurisdictions.
The CARDA representatives are not only getting information about the system, but gathering ideas from other departments.
We have a delegation here of healthcare professionals from Qatar who work with ambulance services, GP centres, hospitals. So they're going to be meeting colleagues here in New Zealand. So our ambulance team will be meeting with your ambulance team, and our GPs will be meeting with your GPs, and our hospital staff seeing your hospital staff. So when we go back to the Middle East and back to Qatar, we can have a good debate about what everybody's seen and put the whole jigsaw puzzle together.
The delegates plan to have talks about fundraising this type of system today, heading back to CARDA in the next few days to produce a proposal.
The next step there is formally we need to produce a written plan and a written strategy which will become the new policy for healthcare in Qatar, so that's important. But more importantly, I think it's the messages that our staff will take back on the ground.
Structure is really important, but the key ingredient and the key message for us back to our friends from Qatar is about relationships, building strong relationships across the system, not just in hospitals and not just in primary care.
New Zealand representatives are set to travel to their Northern Hemispheric friends in June, keeping the strong relationship in good health. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
There's more traffic on the road since subdivisions north of Christchurch are going up fast. But now a new plan is afoot to deal with congestion in Pegasus.
It's a step forward for a new subdivision in North Canterbury as construction of a new double-lane roundabout starts this month. The Ravenswood subdivision is located west of Pegasus, and the roundabout will be located on the busy State Highway 1, designed as the entrance for the village. The stretch of highway leading into Christchurch is becoming one of the busiest as more subdivisions are being built north of the city. Ravenwood Development's General Manager Paul Croft believes the project will help with access, with stage 1 of the residential development being given the go-ahead. It's expected to be completed in May this year.
Spanning hundreds of metres, a new water slide is coming to Christchurch, and it isn't for the faint-hearted. Marcus Gibbs explains.
300 metres long, slippery and wet, stretching across Christchurch streets. Goliath, the monster slip and slide, is here next weekend, promising an adrenaline-thrilled water slide like no other.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I always loved water slides when I was a kid, and imagine a 300-metre water slide in your own backyard in summer.
This ride is the length of 3 rugby fields, 4 A380 Airbuses, or, if you're a foodie, 3,000 chocolate glazed donuts. 3,000 tickets are also up for grabs, and the action will take place in Sumner, launching from Menzies Street. As a result of the sliding, Menzies, Neyland and Colenso Streets are likely to be closed from the 30th of January. The organisers have put safety first, and the Goliath slide has been designed here in New Zealand. It's built to international specifications and padded for comfort. You won't be dry after this slide though, and you're encouraged to bring water bombs, water guns, GoPros and round up your friends. Christchurch will be the launch for a season of rides which will take place in most major cities around New Zealand, every weekend until the end of March.
Started in the States, and a few companies have taken over a few designs. So what we're doing is we're touring New Zealand. We're doing Dunedin, Christchurch, Wellington, New Plymouth and Auckland.
The ride will officially launch next Sunday, but be quick, it will only be here for one day. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
That does look like fun. Still to come, have you broken your New Year's resolutions already? And we take a look at an aviation icon in mid-Canterbury.
Kids Television is right here on CTV. With an exciting range of kids programming, join in on all the fun, Saturday 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. right here on CTV.
I'm selling my home with Gavin Top of Harvey's because I know he'll get me the best possible price. Gavin even guarantees it. His buyer's price declaration guarantee gives me confidence knowing I'll get the best possible price for my house. I know I can trust him because he listens to what I want to achieve and goes the extra mile to get great results. If you want to get Gavin's highest possible price guarantee like I am, give him a call or take a look at his website and he'll get you sold.
Our new companion package is a personalised service for those that need extra help and support. A cost-effective solution for someone who needs more than just a taxi driver. Our drivers are hand-picked from our experienced team and specialise in providing the right support and companionship. Home safe every time with Blue Star Taxis.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood. We're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood. What drives you?
Coming up next week on Lynch, Labour's housing spokesperson Phil Twyford will join me. That's Lynched CTV 8:30 on Monday.
Welcome back. Well, it's the middle of January, and if you're like me, you've probably made New Year's resolutions. But for many, it can be hard to keep them even this early into the new year. Marcus Gibbs asked Cantabrians whether or not they have already broken theirs.
So have you managed to stick to your New Year's resolutions this year?
I certainly have. I haven't broken any because I didn't make any.
I have, yes I have.
And what are your New Year's resolutions?
Well, to just get fit, eat healthier and yeah, be happy.
I didn't really make any this year, to be honest.
Why is that?
Lack of success in previous years.
What normally happens?
I fall off the wagon and then maybe, you know, go out a bit more and start drinking and eating more.
Have you managed to stick to any of your New Year's resolutions so far?
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah.
What are they?
Well, my first New Year's resolution is not to have one packet of cigarettes each day. I don't smoke a packet each day anymore, but I smoke, so...
Oh, same as normal, stay fit, you know, get productive, do well in my studies, you know, the normal stuff.
My New Year's resolution was to run every morning and get like fitter, because last year I was like I was really just didn't do any exercise, and so far it's been going good.
And why didn't you make any this year?
Well, the same reason as last year. There's not much point because you usually end up breaking them, don't you?
In previous years, have you made them? Have you managed to keep them? Or?
No, I haven't. So hopefully this year I'll keep at it.
How long do you think you'll keep it up before you drop it off, or are you going to go all year?
I'm hoping to go at least for the first 2 terms of school.
I think the real test will come when I'm under stress and whether I go back to my old habits.
I've still managed to keep mine so far. Anyway, an iconic piece of aviation history lives in Ashburton, housing some of the history's best-known aircrafts carefully restored over the years. The Ashburton Aviation Museum is a must-see. We take a look at what's on display. Some of the rarest aviation gems are hidden in this hangar. This plane is usually flown by All Black captain Richie McCaw, but this aviation museum's history dates back further than the 21st century. This is the original tarmac used to train the pilots from all around New Zealand during the war. 1,192 pilots learnt to fly here between 1942 and 1944. It's now used as an airfield here in Ashburton and the home base for the Aviation Museum. 48 active tiger moths were ready to take off at any moment's notice. Years later, locals decided to preserve the site's history and what it was best known for.
They just wanted to do something about Ashburton because Ashburton was a training base during World War II, and they wanted to try and keep that alive and keep the history of the place alive, and that's what it was all about.
It's now home to some of the world's rarest planes. Built in 1974 at a cost of £22 million, this Harrier is the only one of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere.
During a war, the first thing they do is blow up the airstrips, which means no air force. So they had to turn around and then try and design an aeroplane that could take off anywhere, and that's what this aircraft was designed to do.
People from England come just to see it. With its unique engine so well preserved, it's able to fly today.
Air is produced from the engine, comes through these ducts, one here, and one each side, and that permits the aircraft to rise vertically off the ground.
They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. This aircraft was found on top of a rubbish fire, ready to be burnt. Tucked below it is one of New Zealand's first jets, a modified version of one of the aircrafts, which was originally too dangerous to train pilots in.
They found that when they closed one engine down and had full power on the opposite engine, the aeroplane would roll over and somersault. So the New Zealand government said we can't train pilots in an aeroplane like this.
The altered plane is now home in the museum.
And what they did a lot of modifications on it to try and stop this roll. They chopped back the nose, extended the fuselage, altered the rudder, put bigger nacelles on and a slightly larger engine. And this aeroplane, this F8, was actually taken by the RAF to Korea and did a lot of tours in Korea.
But before they're display ready, these gems arrive beaten and unkept, like this Percival Proctor. It's the same model Jean Batten flew in the world's first solo flight from England to New Zealand.
Holes in them. This one we were a little bit lucky. It has been had quite a bit of work done on it. We still have the wings on the other side of the hangar over there, and they have some serious damage to them. So there's a lot of work to go into to make this plane look like all the rest of them, but it will happen.
And it all happens in here, the museum's own workshop, where they do up the planes themselves before putting them on display. The hangar is already bursting at the seams, but these aviation enthusiasts have no plans to stop adding to their collection anytime soon. Emma Cropper, CTV News. And now here's Warren Head with the week's Business Roundup.
Hi, I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. Welcome back to 2015 we're in now, and I've got to say that transiting out of 2014 into 2015 I did a bit of motoring, and I guess a lot of you have noticed too that the pump prices have been falling. Not surprising, because the price of a barrel of oil has come down 50% at least in the last 6 months, and it doesn't look like pulling up anytime soon, now below US $50 a barrel. The benchmarks for this are the Brent oil coming out of the UK, West Texas Intermediate if you're up in that part of the world, or in our case we buy our petroleum on the Singaporean market, our jet fuel there too, so that's what guides our market. One of the things that came through today on my desk was a sales report from Z Energy. 211 stations that Z have got around the country on the main roads particularly, and they sent a graphic out with it, and the graphic actually showed that the level of discounting was up quite sharply from Christmas 2013, 2014. So on top of the falling price, internationally influencing the gas price at the pump, has been this tremendous competition for discounting and discounting petrol to motorists as well, and that's ongoing. It looks like a sales strategy there by Z at least. Now, where's the benefit of this falling? Well, of course, we'll see it everywhere. We should see freight costs coming down. Manufacturing will be a big benefactor, and actually the sector rose last month. It had its best level in activity in over a decade. That news came through today from Business New Zealand. I won't go through the numbers particularly there, but Southland in the Cargill area was up quite strongly. Canterbury, Western up to the northern region was a bit quieter than us. Another area that will benefit will be the retail sector when the steaming costs for ships fall. It should cut the cost of importing product, and that'll help them too, because some of them have not been doing as well as you'd expect. The other thing you might have noticed over the holidays was, apart from the pump price, all those sale signs up before Christmas and continuing a long way through into the new year. Things are not that hot, particularly in the apparel sector, and we've seen some companies like the Warehouse and others having a soft period because of the weather, when it was a bit cooler there for a start in the summer, and then Kathmandu saying, well, they had a bad run in Australia, and only Hallenstein Glasson seems to have had a really good summer at this stage. The other benefactors, of course, will be coming through in terms of farm costs for the farmers when they have to top up and hold their stocks of petroleum. So it's all good news rolling through. We'll take another look at that next week in terms of where that particular trend is running. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
Stay with us. After the break, we have your region's weather.
The mission statement of Red and Black Sport is always to bring a voice to achievers in sport, be it Canterbury, New Zealand or internationally. We'll continue to do that here on CTV with Red and Black Sport. Don't miss it every week.
Love music? Love summer? Then Ingham Lazy Sundays in the beautiful Botanic Gardens archery lawn is just the thing to get you enjoying the outdoors this summer. Every Sunday through January and February, and it's all free. So take time to recharge with family and friends, relaxing and listening to some great music from top musicians. View the lineup at summertimes.co.nz today. Ingham Lazy Sundays, putting summer into your Sundays.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company.
Oi! We all know the best thing you can do for your body is eat fresh foods in their natural state. The same applies to your skincare. Southern Skin provides a skincare range with fresh, locally sourced ingredients, plus natural preservatives and emulsifiers to produce the best nourishment for your skin to unleash your healthiest complexion. New Zealand olive and aloe skincare for young or old, men, women and children. There is a product in the Southern Skin range for you. southernskin.co.nz.
Southern Newsweek is an Otago-based news bulletin. Watch this every week to stay in touch with what's happening in and around your community. Stay in the know with Southern Newsweek, 11 a.m. Saturdays, right here on CTV.
Welcome back. Time now for your region's weather.
Hello Canterbury, let's take a look at your weather. Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, you were sitting on 21 degrees. Methven and Ashburton, a high of 21 for you also. Taking a look at Darfield, 21 for you. Leeston and Rolleston just 1 degree short on 20. Moving up the region, Lincoln and Christchurch, sunny day today, your high was 20. Moving over to Akaroa, you hit a high of 20 degrees today. To North Canterbury now, Rangiora, Kaiapoi and Amberley, you all reach the big 20, 20 degrees for you. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, a warm day for you today, taking the Canterbury high of 22 degrees. And Kaikoura, slightly cooler for you on 20. Looking at tomorrow's weather, Timaru, fine and sunny with northeasterly winds. Tonight's low is 9, tomorrow's high 23. Ashburton now, a typical summer's day with sunshine and mild northeasterly breeze. 9 is your low, tomorrow's high 24. Christchurch, sunny skies and breezy northeasterlies make it for a great Friday. Tonight's low 9, tomorrow's high 22. Kaikoura, it's fine and sunny northeasterlies and mild temperatures with a low of 9 and your high 23. To other areas now, Temuka and Geraldine, you're looking fine with a high of 25. Methven tomorrow, a high of 23 and 5 for you, and Rakaya 22. Darfield, you're on 23 tomorrow and 5. Leeston, Rolleston and Lincoln, also 23 degrees and 5. Over in Akaroa, it's fine for you all day tomorrow with a high of 22. Rangiora, Kaiapoi and Amberley, a great day for you in all these places, fine and a high of 23. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, it's also fine for you, 25 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury, it's mostly fine and sunny right through to Monday with patches of high cloud at times. Temperatures will become warmer with moderate northeasterly winds expected for most parts. It may be breezy in the afternoons. It's looking mostly fine with high cloud on Tuesday and Wednesday. There's some winds expected at first on Tuesday, turning northeasterly during the afternoon. Wednesday, it's breezy, northeasterlies are on the cards for you, and mild temperatures. And that's your weather for this Thursday.
We leave you tonight to take a look at the highlights of the Christchurch Buskers Festival that's in town all week. Until tomorrow, I'm Emma Cropper and this is CTV News.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.